Alright, I know it's been quite a while since I did a review for a new album, but I'm gonna try bringing him back this year, and this will be the first one. Speaking of which, today's album is none other than the self-titled Megadeth record, their new and final album, so they say. Now, I've never been a hardcore fan of Megadeth, but I've always liked some of their music, so I was interested in hearing the brand new album, especially considering it's meant to be the final album, as they are going into retirement. But without any further ado, let's get into this. Track 1, Tipping Point. So, this is the first single released from this album. It's got that thrash sound that you would expect from Megadeth, with a pretty good riff. Dave Mustaine's voice also isn't half bad, and the chorus, while pretty simple, is also decent, so I would say it's a pretty good track. Track 2, I Don't Care. Okay, so this is the second single, and this one is not as good. The riff is pretty generic, the lyrics are bad and childish, and Dave's voice is grueling to listen to on this track, so I'm gonna say it's a below average song. Track 3, Hey God. Alright, so this is definitely an improvement from track 2, because the riff is already better, and the slower pace kinda works on this song. Not to mention, Dave actually sounds like he's trying again, instead of whatever he was doing on track 2. The lyrical writing is also better on this track, so I would say this song is good. Track 4, Let There Be Shred. So, this is the third single, and as the title suggests, there is a lot of shredding going on in this song, because of the amount of pitch harmonics being used. And this track brings us right back to the thrash sound. Now, while I do like the riff, the lyrics aren't as strong, as they are pretty cheesy, just talking about how much Dave likes to shred on the guitar. However, I will say, they are not nearly as cringeworthy as track 2, so I'm gonna say this track is decent. Track 5, Puppet Parade. Okay, so this is the fourth and final single, and in my opinion, I think this was the best single out of the four. Because it is another slower song, but it also has a pretty good riff, really good lyrics, the melody of the chorus is really catchy, and Dave's voice on the song is not half bad. So I would say this track is really good. Track 6, Another Bad Day. Alright, so this song has a pretty good riff, and I like the use of the pitch harmonics. It's yet another slower song, which isn't really a bad thing in my opinion, as proven by track 3 and 5. And the verses are good, however, the chorus, not so much, because it's really just Dave repeating the song title, but despite that, I would say this is another pretty good song. Track 7, Made to Kill. So this song leads a bit more into the thrash sound again. The riff is actually pretty good. The chorus is also not half bad. Dave's vocals are pretty good as well, and the solo is really good. So I'm gonna say it's another pretty good track. Track 8, Obey the Call. Okay, this is yet another slower song. I do like the use of pitch harmonics in the intro. The riff is pretty good. The verses, while they do sound good, at the same time, at least in the verses, it does seem like Dave is trying a little too hard. But his vocals are much better sounding in the chorus, which is also a pretty good chorus at that, so I would say it's yet another pretty good song. Track 9, I Am War. Alright, so this song has another intro with good usage of pitch harmonics, and it is, of course, another slower track, but it also has a different key that really works on this track. Dave's vocals are also pretty damn good, and the riff is really good. So I'm gonna say it's also another pretty good track. Track 10, The Last Note. So this song, interestingly enough, starts and ends with a spoken word segment, but the actual song leans more into the thrash sound like track 7. The riff is decent, and Dave's vocals are not half bad. The chorus is also decent, and for what should be the final track on the album, it's not bad. So I'm gonna say it's a decent song. Track 11, Ride the Lightning, bonus track. Okay, so you know how I just said track 10 should be the final song on here? Well, that's because I really meant that when I said it. Instead, the album technically ends with this song, which, of course, is a cover of Metallica's Ride the Lightning. Now, in theory, it makes sense for Megadeth to cover a Metallica song, because if you know, you know. But the execution is not so great. Because while it is an okay cover from an instrumental standpoint, Dave's voice does not fit the song at all, and it even sounds off key at times, and it kind of ruins the cover. Also, having this song close out the album was not the best choice, so I would say this is an okay song and cover. Alright, so in conclusion, this album actually wasn't what I was expecting, in a good way, of course, and it didn't even have that many bad or weaker tracks. And while it may have ended with a not so great cover, it still isn't a bad album to end your career on. So my final rating is going to be an 8 out of 10. Pretty good. But that is going to do it for today. And whatever thoughts you have about the album or this review, be sure and comment down below. And as always, I will see you all next time.